Kenyans continue the anxious wait for presidential election results 5 days after they cast the ballot in a tight presidential race. The Electoral Commission has until Tuesday next week to announce the winner. For more on this, I spoke to SABC News East Africa correspondent Sarah Kimani earlier.
There has been progress, however, very slow progress, and so Kenyans are trying to continue with their lives as normal. We are standing now somewhere in the capital, Nairobi, and people have come out to go to church just to try and continue with their lives because it's been a long wait. We understand former Prime Minister Raila Odinga will also be attending church a few kilometers from here. Deputy President William Ruto's camp remains quiet, but most of the Kenyans we speak to are telling us that the anxious wait is costing them jobs because most of the Kenyans in the capital city are actually casual laborers. So this would mean that they are going now into the 6th day without having gone to work. So many of them hoping that this can conclude very quickly and they can return to normal business. For now, some businesses are open, some remain tightly shut, especially because in this part of the city where we are standing, what happens is once results are announced, people pour out onto the streets. This is when there's celebrations or there is frustrations, and so looting happens. So people still cautiously waiting, most of them hoping that this will end well, because as the English say, all is well that ends well. So there is hope that once the results are announced, then the country can move on. But for now, the anxious wait continues.
Look, Sarah, even yesterday when we spoke, there was a sense that the people, they were already on edge with why, the results have been taking so long to be released. And with the Electoral Commission having until Tuesday to announce the results, are they likely to meet this deadline as it is? And who is in the lead as we speak?
They're likely to meet the deadline because they are working 24 hours. By the time we were going to bed at about 11 p.m., the Electoral Commission was still announcing the results. What is happening is the returning officers, these are the main polling officials, have to bring the forms physically to the National Tallying Center. When they do that, that form is counter-checked against what is already in the electronic system of the IEBC, and that is what is taking so long. Yesterday, there were also tense moments, just like we saw the previous night with the Azimio La Umoja, that is former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's coalition, feeling that there was underhand things that were being done, that it is likely that the Electoral Commission was trying to tilt the balance in favor of Deputy President William Ruto. But the chairperson of the commission was clear that everything is being done transparently, and that they are hoping that this will be one of the most credible elections that they have had. Right now, what we are seeing from the tally that has come in, Deputy President William Ruto has a slight lead of just about 90,000 votes against former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. But it is still early days because there are still some strongholds of Odinga that have not come in, and there are still strongholds of Deputy President William Ruto that have not come in. So it is still hotly contested and too close to call at this moment.
Indeed, Sarah, and of course, as journalists, it's always a long stretch when you have to cover elections there. What would your fair assessment on the ground be, given what the people have been saying about the elections, as well as your observations there on the ground? Would you say that everything was smooth sailing?
Well, I've covered elections in 2002, in 2007, in 2013, in 2017. So this is my 5th election. One of the things I've noted is that Kenyans are growing more patient. So this time, people have been more patient in waiting. However, in the other elections, social media was not so big. This time, social media is very big. So there's a lot of fake news circulating on social media. People are able to manipulate even documents to look like government documents. For example, yesterday we had a document coming from the Ministry of Agriculture in quotes indicating that a subsidy that has been running for maize flour had been removed because the Kenyan government said that it did not have money. We all went out with it as media. It turns out it was fake news. We have had times when we have published results. Turns out that the results are actually fake. That is one of the things that I have noticed, that also the results being put out in the portal, people tallying for themselves. So there are people who will call it for their candidates. We saw yesterday there's Azimio la Umoja calling it for Raila Odinga, the other side keeping quiet. One of the things that we must say is that because of the democracy in the country and the openness that has been there, it has also led to a lot of fake news being spread. But give it to Kenya, the internet is still on, unlike our neighbors, where in most of cases by now the internet would have been shut. We have not had cases of violence, unlike other elections. So an improvement in democracy, but also a long wait. But I was also comparing with the previous elections. In 2013, the presidential results were announced on the 6th day. In 2017, they were announced on the 7th day. So an improvement in terms of the speed, but also as Kenyans now have access to the internet and they're able to tally for themselves, the wait becomes longer because some of them probably know who the winner is, if anybody has been able to tally all the results that have been put by the IEBC in the open portal.
Indeed, and I think what's happening there right now is symbolic of a maturing democracy indeed. Now, Reuters is reporting that the Kenya Election Commission Deputy President William Ruto's party has won governorship of Kenya's capital. Can you confirm this?
Yes, indeed. Johnson Sakaja has taken the governor of Nairobi. Quite interesting because the person who he has lost to the Jubilee candidate, Polycarp Idhae, was one of the people that President Kenyatta had fronted. One of the things that we are noticing in this election is some form of rebellion against President Kenyatta, the outgoing president. In his own central Kenya backyard, Deputy President William Ruto sweeping the board, taking most of the parliamentary seats, taking the governor's seats, taking the women representative seat. So also, as you talk about maturing democracy, we're also seeing a decisive voting bloc, Kenyans being able to come out and decide for themselves rather than being told by politicians what to do. So maybe also that could also tell that people were rebelling against the 10-year rule of President Kenyatta, maybe because in central Kenya they felt that their own man had let them down. And without a Kikuyu, so to speak, President Kenyatta is a Kikuyu. Without a Kikuyu, people were wondering how would they vote. And so President Kenyatta fronted Raila Odinga, but Raila Odinga hasn't performed so well in central Kenya because people expected that with the backing of President Kenyatta, the outgoing president, that he would perform well. We have not seen that translate into votes. We are waiting to see how it will happen in the other areas. But one of the things also that has come out is that the strongholds that Odinga had previously, he has maintained those ones. Deputy President William Ruto has also maintained his strongholds, but also eaten into what would have ideally been former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's strongholds, going by how Kenyans voted in 2017 for Uhuru Kenyatta. So a bit of rebellion there we are seeing against President Kenyatta by what would have been his supporters.
So, Sarah, as a parting shot, would we be pushing it if we said we'd be expecting, some final results by the end of today, ahead of that Tuesday deadline? What's your fair assessment on when the actual results, the final results would come out?
I don't want to place my money on today. I think we have to wait a little longer. I think we will know who the next president of Kenya, the 5th president of independent Kenya, will be probably tomorrow. Because one of the other things is the Electoral Commission cannot announce the winner at night, according to a ruling of the Supreme Court. So once it passes 1 p.m. Kenyan time is moving very quickly. It means that even if they know the winner, they will have to move it to the following day for the safety and security of the country, and also so that they can make the announcement in broad daylight.